gifting through loans. Okay. Now, if you guys, okay, I think the property agents will experience it more. Today, if you go and see property launch, you see a lot of young couple go and see property launch, right? But behind is this thing called father and mother. And the father and mother is the one carrying the check outside. Okay. Then the children will be point, but actually the behind the person is the one issuing the check. Okay. Agree or not, sir? The property agree, right? Singaporean today very rich. Father, mother very rich. Always like to help the children, man. Cannot, they're not enough. Help them to pay down payment. Or buy a new one. Okay, fully paid. Alright, I have customers who fully redeem a property for their child. They buy a new property for the child. Okay, because today parents can afford. Okay, but like what I mentioned, if you outright give to a child this way, if you end up in bankrupt, pass on, alright, or divorce, everyone can challenge it. So I advise my customer how to do it. What we do is we structure the gift via a loan. So let's say Walker is my son. Okay, Walker is my son. I don't give him the money straight away to buy a property. What I do is I have a loan agreement, IOU. I have a loan agreement with him, interest free. I loan, let's say, $1 million for him to buy a property. So let's say he go and purchase the property and his wife stay in the house. Okay, but he still owe me 1 million. If let's say he were to divorce, I can call back my million. I can call back my 1 million. Okay, that 1 million will not be treated as matrimonial asset. Okay, so I protect whatever I'm going to give it to my child. Okay, so especially if you pay fully, you better have a loan arrangement. Now, the loan arrangement can be in your lifetime. Personally, I have a loan arrangement. On my passing, I transfer it to a trust. Transfer the loan to someone else also can. That means if I'm not around, I still can protect my son. Okay, I can put in the will such things. It says the loan haven't write off yet. The day you pass on, then the loan write off also can. Or by 40, I write off the loan. So the parents can write off the loan if you want to.
Can this gifting include a mechanism that tallies with the house value?
Depends on how you want to arrange it. There's a lot of ways to do it.
Yeah, because you put $1 million, say,
down payment.
Yeah, and then 10 years later, the house is worth 9 or 10. Right?
Then you can even say sell away the 1 million, return back to me. Also can.
Yeah, but doesn't the trust want to write on the capital gains?
Then depends on, if you want to do a formula, you can do a formula. Okay. Wow, you want to take advantage of kids, are you?
Can this loan agreement be set up after the loan is lent? Like, I mean, if I lend to my daughter to buy, then after that I think I better do this loan agreement. Then I do it. Time
Can.
before.
So the question is, it's good to do before, so that no one will challenge it. Now you do it late, the question is whether your creditors can challenge and say you are trying to avoid paying the liabilities. That's why you create this arrangement. It's a fraud arrangement. Okay, so take note, it's good to actually do it before. So a lot of my customers, when they purchase property for their kids or whatsoever, we do that. Even the kids I have done, like my customers, the kids are undergrad. We also do that. We do the loan for them. Then they go and borrow. We're undergrad, also can borrow money. We just show money.
Father bank.
Father bank. Okay, so we do that. Alright, then it's structured as a loan. We lock a caveat on the property so that the daughter cannot sell the property away also. Right? If they will sell away, my customer will know if the daughter will sell. Yeah, so all this we need that to protect the asset that my customer is giving. Even though she's really decided to give it, each child will receive one property, but we protect the daughter. It's not just protecting the the parents' asset, it's also protecting the kids. In case they get into events that be uncontrollable one. So we protect the asset also. So we structure it as a loan, which is very good. Alright, last one, scam. Okay, scam, I thought a lot of people thought only financial assets, right? No, not true. I have one case where this gentleman, my customers, her sister was officially separated from the spouse. Okay, and then the dad is very rich. The dad is a tycoon. The dad felt that, the daughter now left with nothing. So what the dad did was that gave her some property, commercial plus residential property, give her so that she stay there and whatsoever, and give her some cash for that, so that to maintain her and her 2 grandkids, which he loves a lot. The grandfather loves a lot. But what happened is that the daughter, being lonely, right, got to know a new boyfriend. You know what the boyfriend did? Cheat away everything. The father was so upset. Cheat away everything. Alright, so this one in Chinese saying 骗财又骗色. So gone, everything. Our father was so mad. Alright, so doesn't mean that will not happen to your asset. Doesn't mean that our kids will not be. Today, a lot of people are gonna scam, not just financial asset, property also. So in this classic example, okay, so it's good that if you want to give, you must structure it properly to actually prevent all these scams or whatever. Today, scammers are very smart. Okay, so think about them. Okay, so I have covered protection, now preservation. Now, whatever asset we want to leave behind, we want to preserve the value. So what happens is that, as I mentioned, when real estate is concerned, always the issue is distribute among too many beneficiaries. Now, if you have one property, you ask yourself this question, you distribute among 3%. So what, the toilet bowl also cut 3, and then 3 of them share the toilet, right? It's very difficult to share. So usually, as I mentioned earlier, when property is concerned, we always say one property, one child. Don't 3. It's very difficult. Very, very difficult. All right. Then if you get married, the whole kampong all shift in. So 3 family, 3 kampong, say each one corner, and draw one line or what. So it's not easy. So when real estate is concerned, all right, it's advisable to give one child, one property. Maybe if you want to have other things for the other child. Okay. All right. So take note of that. Don't distribute with among too many benefits. Always confirm got 5 months when too many benefits. Later we share some example with you. Next one will be preserve the capital. So same like Salim Talib, you want to preserve the capital. Okay, you don't dilute it, so you want to preserve the capital, right? Keep it intact. Rightful beneficiary. This is the one that's very common in Singapore, is that a lot of the next generation are not staying in Singapore already. A lot of them may migrated to Australia, migrated to UK, migrated to US. Now, if they are overseas resident really or citizen, what happens is that a lot of parents still want to leave something for them, like real estate or this. Now, real estate for, let's say, an American to inherit it may have some duty issues, okay, may have some tax. If you leave behind income for the American citizen, your child is an American citizen, it may be subjected to tax, their income tax. So end up you're paying a lot of tax. So what happens is that when you do planning, you have to decide properly what to give to the rightful beneficiary. If they are not suitable to inherit, especially real estate, don't give that party, that child, the real estate. So if you only with proper planning, then you minimize such things. If not, if the child if let's say the child is American, inherit the property. If he or she were to pass on, because she's an American citizen and she will inherit your property, and if he or she were to pass on, the American government will tax 40%. 40%. Okay? Close to 40%, 30 plus percent. Right? So what happens is the question is, are you willing, you work so hard and then you get the US government to tax? Singapore government don't tax you, US government tax you. Right? So I think it's unfair. So it's better strategize how to distribute asset again to the rightful beneficiaries. Okay, now and then next one, last part, enhancement. So property enhancement. All right, wealth enhancement. So what we do is when we leave behind things, we want to enhance it through capital gain or through income. And property is always one. As I mentioned, properties like what I just now mentioned, black magic. Property got black magic. People keep on holding. But property has a lifespan one. Right, by reach a certain age, he will have a lot of problem. And just now we have already tested with him. You ask him to inherit the whole house. You think he want? He will sell one. As I mentioned, a lot of parents don't want to sell, hold on for as long as possible, and then will to the kids will sell one. Now, you let the kids sell, why not the parents sell themselves? Not the parents sell themselves, sell the property. Correct, find out more. The parents sell the property and decide how to distribute. Right now, if the kids want to buy property, loan them the money, let them go and buy property on their own. Then they will not be issue. Why not? Loan them the money, let them go and buy the property on their own. Don't just force your property to them. They will not like it, man. The next generation will not like the property they live in. Yes, you are a super parent. Okay, you are a fantastic parent. Then you're going to leave behind one big transfer to them. But they will not keep it one. They will sell one. Trust me. So instead of that, in your lifetime, why not sell? In your lifetime, why not sell? Hold on to cash, strategize, lend them the money, go and buy. If they're young, go and buy. Because why? If they're young, they lend them the money so that they can afford to buy. Like my customer bought for her daughter, 21 years old, go and buy. By the time the property appreciate, if she will sell away, she will have X amount of money. Alright, so the younger you buy, cheaper it is. I mean cheaper as in, sorry, the appreciation in that sense. So that is why I talk about property enhancement. Alright, so engage professional help. I always tell customers, now if it's a liquid asset, it could be an investment manager, alright, to manage your investment. If it's property, get professionals, people like those people who have invited you. Take note, today's property agents and the past and the present are totally different. They can evaluate the investment, the opportunity in looking at an asset. It's not just a basic pure transaction today. Okay, so you can talk to them and see how you can enhance your engage professional help to actually enhance your asset. Of course, holding for too long, which I mentioned already. Strategize to increase the value. The most important is to increase the value, just like Salim Khalid did for his children, his future generation. To let the asset appreciate. Your next generation, your future generation will thank you for that. Just imagine if you're Talib. You will forever remember Salim Talib, your great grandfather.
Yeah.
Right, forever, forever one. So, alright, so you can do that for your future generation if you strategize. Okay, so lastly, one last consideration before we end by 9 o'clock. Okay, so I give you one example, one example. Let's say this person, Mr. So, very rich, 52 years old, business owner. Wife, housewife, 50 years old. Son, 22 years old. Daughter, 20 years old, undergrad. Okay, now just talking about property, I never talk about other assets. He owns a landed, fully paid landed, okay, somewhere in Bukit Timah, 888, so he likes 8, and then fully paid 8 million. Now, commonly what will happen is that for a couple to own a real estate fully paid, what they do is usually the property, how will it be held? Usually joint tenancy. Correct, usually very common.
Yeah.
Okay, and fully paid. Okay, so what happened is that the man will always, usually in local context, we always say the man will go first before the woman. Correct not? You look around, it's always like the man go first. Correct not? Suffer in the under. So go first. Okay, so men will go first based on local statistics. Men will go first. Okay, you go in statistics. You go ICA. You check the statistic issue. Confirm. Men will go first. Okay, so the man will go first. So under joint tenancy, the wife will inherit. Correct now. So the wife will own this $8 million property. Now, you don't just think you just shift it into a house and then 8 million is yours or whatever. Let me highlight a few things that people never overlook. Okay, people overlook in planning. Number one, the wife inherit this house. The wife is a housewife. Can I ask you all, if let's say after she inherit, she never pay the property tax before, right? Correct. Housewife never pay her husband. What will be the property tax for this property once the wife inherit and the wife has to pay the tax? John, please share with us. $8 million landed now.
I think probably about 60,000 plus minus. Depends.
The property tax, just property tax alone is about 30 to 60. Let's say 30. Okay, so 50. He said 50. Okay, so 50,000. 50,000. Just property tax alone. Your wife will be shocked. First time paying property tax. Go 50,000. 1 month 4,000 plus. No. She will be shocked. And then after that, she inherit the house, pay property tax, then no need water, no need electricity. No, right? Have to provide her for that, right? So stay in the house, you need electricity, you need water, and you need a maid, right? Right, you stay at 8 million, probably you sweep the floor yourself. Poor colleague, right? Impossible, right? So you get the 2 maid, right? That is true, 8 million one, I see always 2 maid one. Right, 4 million one maid. Right. So you will get 2 maids to clean the house. So what happened is that just building the house is not the issue, no? It's the wife who stays behind has to address the cost. Close one eyes. 20, 30,000 provision just to stay in the $8 million house. 20 to 30,000 per month. Let's say on the low side, the wife very 50 only 20,000. Low expense 20,000 20,000. 1 year 240,000. 10 years 2.4. The wife live for the next 30 years. The wife, women all very long life on. So 30 years. Okay, 30 years. 2.4 million, 6.7 point something, 8 million though. The husband must set aside 7 million just to stay in the house there. Just to stay in the house, he must set aside 7 million. Equal to the value. Equal to the value of property though. Okay, never mind. Okay, the wife will do, my husband will come back, so I must stay here. So Mrs. So very rich continue to stay in the house. Sure one. She will stay because the house will appreciate for my children. I must die stay there. So she will stay. And then what will happen is that one day, Mr. So lucky will grow up, right? And he will move out of the house, right? The older one will marry and move out of the house, correct now? Then what will happen is that the young one will stay behind because mother alone so big house for what? I tumpang my mother, free one, correct now? So if you're the daughter, you'll stay there and maybe she get married. Right, stay there. Right. The mom will say, I died that time, I will this $8 million property to my 2 kids. By then the property will be much more than 8 million already, correct now? So my 2 kids will be multi-millionaire, correct? Can I do a survey with you? Let's say you're the daughter, you are the son, can? Don't mind? Okay, so this is the daughter, this is the son. And the mom pass on. And the mom will say 50% to her, 50% to him. Can I ask you, Miss So Lucky, will you move out of the house or continue to stay?
Yeah.
Stay there, right? No, 3, 1, 1. Can you accept she to stay there? Sell. You will sell?
No.
What will happen? Ideal. Horror. Will you want to shift in? She changed the padlock. She changed the padlock. Quite enough. Right? And then what happened is that later, the roof start to leak. Need to repair. 200,000. Who paid? You paid?
I think they have.
You think stay in the landed so cheap? And end up what will happen to 2 of y'all? You will die force her to sell. And then every day you come out from him, you also sell. Sell. End up will sell. Sell. Right. So friends, a lot of time I tell this is classic example. all property that you're going to leave behind for the next generation will sell. So why worry of keeping? Why not you strategize how to enjoy life with your property first? Then you lend it to them, strategize how to give it to them. Okay? How to strategize how to give it to them. Not just keep on holding, and then thinking that they will keep it and then they will remember you forever. Sorry, they will sell it away. They'll sell it away. They only remember if their father is son. Okay, if their father is son. Okay, can? Alright. So what happens? And let me leave you out with the last one idea. Now, I'm going to share with you all this concept that I developed called the family bank concept, where it's something like Salim Talib, where you all of you, with the wealth that you have created, can actually create this thing called family bank. Now, family bank doesn't mean ask you to go and create an OCBC and UOB. No. Okay, it's just a bank that you use for your future generation. Okay, and who use this concept very well? Singapore government. I don't know whether you're aware now. During the COVID time, Singapore was the first country to come out of COVID. Why? Because we got big reserve, we got money, big money. And this money is in two parts, Temasek and GIC. The money is locked into this reserve, and the government direct say no touching of the capital, only touch the interest. Alright, we invest in the reserve, you only spend the interest. So during COVID, we only spend the interest. Alright, and this our founding father was so brilliant, he came up with this idea of a reserve. Alright, so what happened through my course of my work, I came up with this idea. Okay, let me just share with you the family bank concept. You can also create a reserve for your family. Very simple. Now, if you are Mr. So very rich, let's say he decided after he listened to my talk, he said, okay, I'll sell my landed. I downgrade. So he sell his 8 million property, maybe sell for 8 million, maybe sell for 10 million. Let's say on the low side, he sell 8 million. Okay, let's say he sold his 8 million property. Then what he did was he buy a condominium for himself. Downgrade, purchased a 3 million property. So he still have 5 million, right? Okay, with his 5 million, he kept 2 million for him and the wife. So each one 1 million to spend. Then the next 3 million, what he did was he did something like this. Because of my background, I share with you all that what you can do is you can park a 3 million in a life insurance policy. Okay, the 3 million park in a life insurance policy, they give a coverage of 10.1 million. So for every $1, you multiply by 3 times. That's why how we get 10.1. We leverage by using a life insurance policy. Okay, so you park in the life insurance policy. With this life insurance policy, what he do? Very simple. Take a loan from the policy. He can take a loan of 1 million. So his premium is 3 million, he can take a loan of 1.5 million. And he do this 1.5 million, what he do? He loan it to the daughter, which just now I strategized the loan. So you loan to the daughter, let the daughter go and buy a property. So the daughter use this policy, the loan, to purchase a property. Okay, and as I mentioned, all of us one day will leave this world. So what will happen is that one day, when Mr. So very rich is no more around, the insurance will pay out the 10.1 million. The insurance will pay out the 10.1 million. Alright? And then what will happen is the 10.1 million, you go and write off the loan of 1.5 million. Alright? You write off the loan using the insurance. So you are left with 8.6 million net. You're left with now 8.6 million. With the 8.6 million, what you do? You move this money and pay it to a trust. And you lock the capital there for your future beneficiaries. Same thing again, 8.6 million. Let's say 10%. Let's say 8.6 million, you enhance it by investment, whatever. What happens is that 8.6 million, let's say you every year make 10%. Okay, 10% will be 860,000. You keep half inside, distribute half. You distribute 400,000 for your beneficiary. I think it's good enough. You have 2 kids, 400,000 is 200,000 each. No need to work really. Okay, but you continue to keep the money in the capital, let the capital grow for 100 years if you want to, for 50 years. After that, distribute among your future generation. Alright? Or you can take the 8.6 million to write off the property here. So what happened is that you strategize, leverage by the use of life insurance. Now, what if Mr. So said this idea not so good, I use my own idea. So what will happen is that he can sell the property, put 5 million inside. Now, but 5 million is not leverage. You only have 5 million. There's no leveraging factor. You loan the 5 million, 1.5, you only left with 3.5. But here you're left with 8.6. So you leverage by using life insurance to create the reserve for your loved one. Now, for loved one. So if your loved one is your wife also can be one part of the beneficiary. Future generation, you want to create scholarship, can take from here. Future generation, you want to invest, can take from here. I give you one idea what I did for my customer. One of my customers is very rich. He actually stayed in an $8 million property. He was very upset because very rich, he's a business owner. But his concern is when he died, his son really gave him the pressure, I will never work. The son is a graduate, a first class owner. But he says, when I come back, I will be a Grab driver.
Oh.
So he's very, very upset because his son is not ambitious. Well, the father worked so hard to grow his wealth, seeing his son that upset him. And then if he were to pay so much money for the son will be a bum. So he's very upset. So he said, Alan, can you just strategize what should we do? So I create something similar to this. But what I say is that the distribution of the inheritance to the son, there's a criteria. One of the criteria is the son must work. First thing, the son must work. The son must pay income tax. Okay? And then based on the income tax, the trust will distribute money to the son based on $1 to $1. So if he makes 20,000, I only give you 20,000. You make 40,000, I give you 40,000. I give you up to 50 to take all. By 50, you never take all, I distribute to charity. So you let the son decide. Work hard, all is yours. Don't work hard, all is charity. So you say, if I'm not around, I want this to teach my son. So this is how he teach his son. Okay, hopefully the son's mind will change after he come back from UK. Thinking will change. Maybe because more mature, he will change. Hopefully. Okay, so his concern is always that. So a trust, a strategy, all right, you can create this strategy for a loved one and leave a legacy behind. All right, with that, I've completed my sharing for today. Thank you very much.